आपको मेरा नमस्कार. This is International Master and FIDE Senior Trainer Sekhar Sahu. Welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State Chess Association to this intermediate training session. I will present to you some interesting variations of Sicilian only. So, Devers, Mukund Agarwal, Suresh Bhai Chawda, Vassal Parik, Priti Rathi, Ramakrishna, Dina Patel, Suhail Patel, and Parvat Thakkar all are welcome. Let's look at a variation from Sicilian Dragon. So it is coming in a transposition, the main line. So this is called the Yugoslav attack. White wants to castle long and storm the pawns on king side. So here, there are many lines, but I go to the straight main line. There is a threat, so bishop has to move. And now the pawn is given for opening that file so that he can exchange the bishop and attack the king. Now bishop h6. Actually, this is better to play now nd5, and white has got good game. After the move nd5, now queen into queen is practically forced. Otherwise, this is having good compensation. So this is white is little better. Definitely white is little better. But instead of that, he plays directly bishop h6. This involves tactics, a trap. This is what I mean. Now he can give a check. The point is, now if you queen take it, bishop into bishop is a check. This is very important. Black saves the important bishop. Of course, this is not good. In this case, the knight will fall. So you have to take king. Neither pawn into is good because bishop d4, nor queen into is good. Bishop into bishop check, and black stands better. So he has to move, and then knight into pawn. Knight into pawn. Now the point is, if you keep on taking, he will also keep on taking with check coming. Now bishop into bishop fails to knight into knight. Rook. So here king into is necessary. And there comes bishop into bishop. Now the queen is tied down. Now the queen is already tied down to the c3 defense. Idea, the other rook will join. This is less dangerous. This is less dangerous because here the rook is not functioning. So this is the correct move. He wants to bring the join with the other rook. This position, I'm just showing you the variation. This is not a game, a possible variation. However, there is a lot of changes and improvements are there. I'm telling the tactics. That means a player should not take it for granted. After bishop h6, he should not think. He should reckon on this check. That is why many players, they before playing here, they play first king b1, so that the check is not there. Okay, I now go to some games. Okay, the two games yesterday I saw Devers and Ramakrishna. So I will analyze at the end. Sicilian Nasdaq, English attack. Want to play f3 g4. Now This is going to become Keras attack. If he will play f3, this is English attack. With the idea queen d2, long castle g4, h4, and etc. Now this becomes Keras attack. The point is that e6 and e5 two moves, and there is a weakness, so white stands better here. I mean, now the game, white going to castle on the queen side, but where black is going tomorrow? Rook takes g5 is coming. If rook takes d5 will pick up the piece, so it comes here. And if you see now the black king is stuck in the center, he cannot castle easily. Now white is creating some tactical problem. We have to see the typical tactical problems that comes in Sicilian defense. Now you would say, notice what is the tactical problem. So he is creating a tactically favorable situation for white. Bad move is now queen into pawn is just bad move, because you see he is putting after queen takes pawn. When I attack the queen has only one square, and that is coming against the rook. Now I attack the queen. Sorry, I attack the queen. The only so this is where the problem comes. This is where the problem comes. Bishop takes. Now, if you take a knight into, I will attack. I will attack the knight of 6 and attack the queen simultaneously. He is going to get knight into check now, and our piece will go now. So this is the defect. Now, when you play rook g1, g3, a tactically favorable situation. So only move. But then queen attacked, and now you must lose material because there is a mate threat and queen threat, and this three threats. One, then two, and three. So he must lose material. He cannot save all three. So the whole point is the G6 move. It turns out bad. A Sicilian, you cannot do all these things. You can one cannot do all these moves. Bad moves. Now I want to ask you questions now. Let us now we have seen lot of tactics. There are some positions I will ask now. What are you going to do? How to take advantage? Goes for tall attack. Queen f3 and long castle. This is a typical Tal's idea only. Now, the plan is to play knight into knight and bishop c6, etc. So, this is a well-known plan. Now, g4, g5. The idea is now when you play e5, I have got time for rook c4. Here, you are giving a threat on the rook and want to take the pawn, but I can play rook c4. I can play rook c4. So, this will also be dangerous for you. Okay. Or maybe I can even play knight d5. Knight d5 also possible. Okay. Here he plays rook c4. Now queen attack. Well, if you move the queen, then there is a problem that okay. I will see both your game, Devers and Ramakrishna game. I have downloaded it. I will show you the mistakes and the plan for both sides. Okay. Now queen takes. There is a threat. Only move. Rook into bishop threat. Only move. Now the point is the queen is in deep trouble. There the queen is going to move. If you go back here, the position is anyway bad. So he stops with b5. What white is going to do now? Please suggest me a move for white. Ramakrishna, no, 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 not knight into b5. Yes, there comes rook a4. Rook a4. And he's winning because he has to now go only move and then rook into pawn wins. Now, if you go here, rook takes pawn wins. Rook into pawn will win. Idea, bishop into pawn check, and now answer. And if you play other moves like queen coming to knight, then he can play bishop takes pawn with a devastating effect. Pawn n2 is not possible, and it is king has to move. You have to move the king now. This is bad position. Now I can take pawn into and easily winning the game. There is no other variation possible. So a player must know, take into account. The whole point is inviting pieces. These are bad things. These are bad moves. If he had done castle, then I would play bishop into. If king was castled already, here in case I would take bishop into and I will invest the g file for attack. Okay, now these two games I will see. Actually, your games I will analyze only when it is a serious game. I found both the games are played on Blitz game. So please note, I will not analyze Blitz games hereafter. No 3-minute game I will analyze. However, since I have sent it, I will show you. But in future, don't send me 5-minute played game, or it should be minimum 20 minutes plus. Then only I will analyze. See now here, these two games I saw. Now this is just a bad move. White has played a bad move. Now black should simply play bishop coming back. Now here, this sort of moves lot of wasting time. So you can just to take the bishop, you cannot play. So I will play here. Now you attack. Now black has more open lines. Bishop is open. So all I want a knight coming to e6. This is possible. So there is no attack. So this is one. And also, among other things, when you play, I can go back. Now d4, I will play e6. Now you have to come back. Now I will play French defense, and this is just a good position. This is a good position. So NH4 is not a problem. Anyway, you played in the game. Now what happened? Now this is, in my opinion, this is not the correct move because he can play a move like e6. He can play, and now the point is hold this position that no, I can take this. I can take this, and white is quite good. The position there are lot of double pawns. So A player should not play mechanically just because attack has come. And you should, if you place this, you are not in a good position, not very good. But White did not play. White played knight into. Still, he could have done it. Still, he could do it, but this is less effective here. Now, black is all right. I would not do this actually. I would rather play here. Maybe here I would just play just complete development. I would like to play here bishop coming to e2 and castle. Bishop e2 and then castle. Queen into pawn is bad because knight a4 the queen is trapped. So the whole concept of queen b6 is a weak move. Now this is just b2. Then what is the queen doing here? When you cannot take the pawn, what the queen is doing? So you should not leave center mechanically. Now white is poorly placed. This is very badly played by white player. Black is clear better now. Okay, knight into and now knight. I think black center is better and pieces are more mobilized. How many weak moves? A series, maybe in the 22 moves, he has made some 10 very weak moves. White. It is lost position. Now you should now okay pawn into check. This is terrible. Just this is enough now. I would say king b7 is enough to win. Okay, adventure. Why you have to do this? Now here in this position, why you have to do this? Why? Huh? You can just move. He is helpless. You can just move the king b7. It is enough. Then attack will because for the exchange you have got more than enough. And now what would you have done for this? Now what would you do? Black do now because if you come here, then rook into pawn check is coming. And if you do here, he is repetition. This is a repetition of moves. That is why I suggested king b7 earlier. And now in the game, he plays a bad move. He plays now it is bad. This is just bad. It is now so there are so many mistakes. I would not analyze Bliss games. Please don't send me Bliss games. There are so many mistakes by both sides. A theoretical line. Now I would like to annotate the game of Devers. Okay. Now here, uh, Devers, you play Queen E2. This line, okay, but there is a better line. If I would recommend Knight D5. This is with the idea A4 A5. This is a good move. Or even you can play direct F4 also. Because then he has to make a move like this, right? And then I come tempo. Then he comes here. That means here knight d5 come with the tempo. A4, sorry, here I recommend to play A4. Now you have to play A6. If you play knight to stop, it is very poorly placed. The knight is out of center. It is just bad. So you have to play a move like a6 and then nd5. You have to go and then b2. White stands clear better. Now white development is better. White knight in center, and this knight f6 will allow bishop g5. He will play bishop g5. I think this would have given a clear advantage. Yes, but this is very very badly handled by White. Brahmakrishna. Your opponent played terrible, and you should also your king safety. I mean, he missed a perpetual check. Okay, so here this is simple way to play, and White gets a very easy game. Now knight f6 is running to bishop g5. Knight f6 will walk into bg5 pin. White better. So in the actual game, this variation, this variation is quite blocking. I think it's playable. There are a lot of top players play this also, but I don't want to blockade. So this is quite slow. Okay, the position is not dangerous for black. Don't weaken your king side. You should not weaken your king side. King castle position. So this is not the best way. I would say the position white stands little better. So maybe you can play here queen to d2. Go away from the line, queen d2. This I think then consolidate the position. You can play next kb1, a3, consolidate. You should now the king position back rank. Don't play. Yeah, you can play this also because a check on a3 is harmless. You can play b3 kb2. You can play kb1 a3. I think white stands better. Now this is pawn into pawn will not be so good technically. So here, I think this is bad move, weakening the king position. He has not handled well at the moment. I would say that now loose position he would capture, open the line. Now pawn into. Now the bishop is quite powerful, so get rid of the bishop. Get rid of the bishop. Now this will be having counterplay. So do not weaken your king position anytime. Okay. I send you a game which you could see after class and tell me if any problem in my play. Don't doubt. There was a real fun playing the game in Sicilian mix. Okay, okay. No, arrows के साथ देखा है. I've seen the game. Okay, I've seen that game, but don't weaken the position. For example, you know, okay, I'll show a game. I'll show a game of Miles versus uh, Rifat bin Sattar. I will show that game. Do not weaken your position. See, that was also a Scotch game, I believe. Yeah, I will see that game. I will see that game. Veerbhadra later. Oh, Scotch. This is Laskar's idea to play b6 so that knight into knight the bishop is not hanging. So there is now the center is under volatile attack. So it looks like that white is having a tremendous position because the pawn e5 coming and f6 coming. But the defect is, you know, a player can attack only if he fulfills all the condition. Now he is not fully developed, so the center is weak. In attack, there are five. Condition number one: where is the weakness in the castle position? Black has no apparent weakness. The only f6 will come. There is no queen or knight in the attack. He is not developed. So white center is comparatively weak because black having pressure on the center. So white center is not good and white has not many pieces in attack and white is not fully developed because when you push this you are also giving line to the black bishop. Black bishop. So not good. Now he comes f6. Okay. So it takes it. Now I give a check. Now where is the attacking move? Now you want to develop, then sudden counter attack on center. So the only move. Otherwise the pawn is in danger. The pawn is in danger. Rook here, e1, queen f4 will come. So the pawn in danger. Hello, my boy. Hello. हाँ सर. अच्छा. हाँ हाँ हाँ. हाँ मैं करता हूँ. Okay. Now this is just bad. Just center. Now f2 there is a threat. Otherwise, if you defend f2, knight into bishop. If you defend f2, knight into bishop. The only move. And now rook. I will have to take a little break of 5 minutes because some visitor is there. So after this, I will take a little break. So please give me time. Some visitor have come for the house. Give me 5 minutes. I will write back. But don't go away. I will be here only. Please be here. 5 minutes break, please. And now this is just crossing. After the move, the attack is not there. That is why you should not compromise your center and weaken the position. You should not be underdeveloped before you attack. This is bad. When you see the position, it looks really bad. When you look at this position, This looks really bad for black, but he is not fulfilling the condition. The underdevelopment, weak center, and counter attack. That is why the attack does not work. Okay, okay. So, some visitor, I have to go and pick him up. So, give me few minutes. I'll come back to my topic, Sicilian. Please don't go away. You be here. I will continue. Hello, Kiara Mehta. Encyclopedia. Yeah, that is very good book. हेलो हाँ मैं आइए साहब 1103 में मैं हूँ आइए हाँ हाँ दीजिए उनको दीजिए हाँ भाई जो बैंक से आए हैं देखने के लिए उनको आने दो ये 1103 हाँ 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 आओ आने दो ओके 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 so this is this is one till they come I will show one more game Cecilian Paulson this is called Jack variation the Jack variation no development of piece only pawn moves these are bad things. He is giving a threat up on b4 and winning the e4 pawn. So you cannot do that. Okay, another you should at least develop the king side pieces. So very bad. Sacrifice now itself comes. Now itself winning forced to take otherwise you lose exchange. Now this opens h5. This is disaster. Position is overwhelming. Now the pawn is indirectly protected. You cannot take the pawn. Knight c7 check is there. So that means I play bishop. Now I want to smash. Queen into pawn is unplayable. And now with king f2, king f7 is lost. Because after taking it, he will take and discover lost position. Winning because if you take the queen, a new queen is coming on h8. After you take the queen, check. Now if you take it, another check is coming. And next, a new queen is coming. So the whole point is, I think you see, Viswanathan Anand once played a rapid game. He also said, but he commented that I will be too much underdeveloped. Anand also had played all these things. But then Anand said that it is not too much, he will stay underdeveloped. So he played quickly here that knight f6. It is very important. You cannot ignore the king side. Okay, so this is just bad. And after that, plus minus. And the sacrifice will open up completely. So the visitor is coming. I need to break. From bank, some people are coming. So please give me 5 minutes. Okay. तो रहने दे, साफ करेगा, साफ करेगा। प्लीज बैठिए, हैव अ सीट।
कैसा पापा अकेले रहते हो?
हाँ जी, अकेले।
अच्छा,
स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी के साथ है, गुजरात स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी।
अच्छा, मयूर भाई के साथ।
हाँ हाँ
हाँ, उन्होंने बताया कि वो चेस में मास्टर है बोला।
हाँ, वही ये क्लासेस चल रहा है।
अच्छा, चालू ही है ऑनलाइन।
नहीं, नो प्रॉब्लम, बच्चे को बोला थोड़ा 2 मिनट 4 मिनट 5 मिनट ब्रेक लेता हूँ। यहाँ एक बेडरूम है, वो अटैच बात है, और यहाँ एक बेडरूम, तो और किचन है, ये देखो। अब देखिए,
वो तो हम देख लेते, आप अपना कंटिन्यू करो।
ऐसा है तो इनसाइड बाथरूम है उधर है।
तो ये आपने खुद में परचेस किया हुआ है?
हाँ,
अच्छा,
फर्स्ट ओनर।
फर्स्ट ओनर भी।
कौन सा कालूपुर, कौन सा ब्रांच है?
सेंट जेवियर्स
ब्रांच। ओह,
विजय चार
विजय 4 रास्ता। हाँ, यहाँ बेडरूम है, ओपन ओपन कीजिए उसको। बेडरूम है इधर।
सर यानी 2 BHK।
2 BHK।
फिर आप ही रहने वाले?
मैं तो रेंट में।
मेरे को इतना बड़ा
ऑनलाइन क्लासेस आज ये गवर्नमेंट स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी के लिए कर
एक अटैच एक कॉमन।
ये कॉमन बाथरूम और अटैच बाथरूम,
वो अटैच
2 बाथरूम
और बालकनी एक।
बालकनी, वॉशिंग प्लेस है,
वॉशिंग वाला जो पोर्च एरिया वो
स्टोर रूम है उधर।
ओके।
924 स्क्वायर फीट।
कितने में अपना फाइनल किया?
32 में, बट वो कम कर रहे हो आपका।
हाँ, वो आपका सैलरी का कम कर रहे बोला। सैलरी कितने में? 32 बोले ओके। सो आपने जो अंदर
27 में फर्स्ट सैलरी, 27
27 के करीब।
वो बैंक का होगा।
हाँ, यानी उसके हिसाब से उनकी वो लोन वोन सैंक्शन होगी। आप तो ये बहुत साल से कर रहे हो चेस का।
मैं तो चेस फील्ड में 52 इयर्स हो गए।
क्या बात। अच्छा है।
बच्चे है तो चल रहा है। चाय भी पिएंगे सब? चाय पिएंगे?
नहीं नहीं
नहीं, कुछ नहीं, कुछ फटाफट कर देगा।
नहीं नहीं नहीं
पानी तो लीजिए, देता हूँ। ऑनलाइन क्लास
चेस में मास्टर है मयूर भाई का ऊपर।
मयूर भी मास्टर।
मयूर भाई हमने जुड़े थे। हाँ नहीं हमने जुड़े हुए। ये था क्या? क्या है तो बीएस।
हमारा स्टेप पर जैसा है, जो भी बोल।
टाइम में छोकरी मयूर भाई जुड़े।
आदमी मूर्खान बोल रहा है। जंजीरा ये लाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। साइमन साइमन हमारे लोगों ने बनाई
मयूर भाई
दिक्कत करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है।
हाँ मयूर भाई बस बेटा के साहब जुड़े। ओ चर्चा वर्चा कर लिए थे साहब ने केस की बड़ी बात સરસ તો ત્યાં સારું ના સાચી સરસ ઓકે વાંધો નહીં ઓકે
व्यू भी अच्छा है इधर, जबरदस्त है।
टॉप फ्लोर से तो बहुत
मजा आता है, टॉप फ्लोर से देखने मजा ही अलग है।
रात को ये विंडो विंडो ओपन कर लो तो फिर
नहीं, क्लास के टाइम बंद करता हूँ, बॉट्स आ जाते हैं।
हाँ
तो अभी ये दो, अभी 1 डेढ़ घंटे के बाद चालू करेगा।
इसके कागज तो 99% क्लियर ही होंगे सर।
सब
अगर
clear,
कुछ
कुछ
जरूरत
नहीं,
होगी तो हम आपको
सब
बताएंगे।
क्लियर है। ये सोसाइटी और लोन वोन कुछ नहीं है,
हाँ वो तो
मेंटेनेंस ऑफ पेड है।
वो आपका जो फाइल है उसमें अगर कुछ कागज कम होगा तो मैं
जो भी
आपको
चाहिए
बताऊंगा। हाँ
सोसाइटी वाले तुरंत दे।
हाँ बस संबल गोयल का तो वैसे भी अच्छा ही होता है।
और सीडी भी दिया है, सब कुछ है।
बस
ये तो अपना पुराना मोहित भाई का दोस्त है, कभी भी आते रहते साथ में।
आपकी भी लोन नहीं चल रही?
मेरा कुछ नहीं है, सब क्लियर है,
ओके।
जनवरी में क्लियर कर दिया।
सब ये सब स्टेप में ही होता है चेस पूरी।
चेस जो है अभी ये ऐसा है कि आप जितना भी करो पूरा लाइफ भी कम पड़ता है, इसमें इतना सब है मटेरियल, थाउजेंड्स ऑफ बुक्स है और मटेरियल बहुत है।
लेकिन वो
नेक्स्ट
स्टेप
स्टेप में गेम चेंज हो जाता
या
है, पूरा नया आता है, लॉजिक नया सोचना पड़ेगा आपको। एक स्टेप खेला लॉजिक बदल चेंज हो गया पूरा।
मैं भी बैंक से था, रिटायर्ड है, इंडियन बैंक से था, रिटायर्ड।
बेसिक कहाँ थे?
उड़ीसा का है लेकिन बॉम्बे में सेटल्ड फैमिली।
ओके।
यहाँ हो 14 अगस्त से यहाँ पर
14 years।
नहीं 2014
2014
बैंक छोड़ दिया है 2001 में। ये नहीं है फील्ड में।
ये अच्छा है।
हाँ अभी 10 साल एक्सपीरियंस है तो
बैंक से तो अच्छा है।
हाँ बैंक का जो प्रेशर है उससे तो
उससे अच्छा है।
तो प्रेशर नहीं।
फ्रीलांसर हो गए जिसमें।
हाँ
फ्रीलांसर आपकी जब भी टाइम है आप
हाँ
कराते रहो,
जी।
वहाँ पे प्रेजेंट देंगे तब वहाँ पे मीटिंग में जाना।
ये सब रखना पड़ता है किसी भी बात पीछे।
ये है ना कि वो स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी का है, गुजरात एसोसिएशन, सो जब उनके लिए कर रहा है तो अच्छा बैकग्राउंड अच्छा चाहिए।
आप
यहाँ
तो इंटरनेशनल भी गए होंगे।
मेरे को 100 बार गया, मोर देन 100। ना अभी तो नहीं है,
बता रहे थे।
पहले नहीं, पहले जाना, अभी नहीं, एज हो गया, अभी 65
हाँ
हो गया।
लेकिन अकेले रहने में दिक्कत बहुत होती है।
कुछ नहीं है, अभी ठीक है, ऐसे आदत हो गया, सब ठीक है। फ्रेश होना है तो फ्रेश हो सकते हैं, बात
नहीं
होके निकले थे, हमको मालूम ही था थोड़ा दूर है तो
हाँ
होके निकल गए।
तब होगा अच्छी है। आगे स्काई सिटी
स्काई सिटी
बहुत बड़ी
बहुत सारी स्कीम आ रही है, बहुत सारी 20-25 स्कीम चल रहा है इधर।
ओ चालू है डेवलप।
हाँ इनका ही 10 है, इनका ही इधर का ही है।
ये भी काफी बहुत
करीब 1000 फ्लैट तो है।
ओ आपने कौन से साल में लिए?
ये हो गया 2.5 साल हो गया।
2.5 साल नहीं जब बन
हाँ
स्कीम बनने में 3-4 साल हुए।
हाँ नहीं वैसे मैं तो मैं लिया इन्वेस्टर से, मैं डायरेक्ट नहीं लिया, इन्वेस्टर से लिया, सेम प्राइस में, वही प्राइस में।
अच्छा है ना? चलिए सर निकलते हैं।
नमस्ते
नमस्ते नमस्ते।
कुछ होगा तो मैं मयूर भाई को बताऊंगा। वो आपको
कुछ भी चाहिए तो प्लीज
Sure, sure.
मेरा फोन नंबर मोबाइल भाई को बोलिए।
हाँ ओके सर चलो बाय।
So sorry friends, okay, tricky lines, okay, I will tell you. Now this position is just bad, so see the answer, question is if you play nf3, if you play nf3, King's Indian Grunfeld cannot be stopped, but it will go to classical lines. For example, the King's Indian player will play King's Indian only. So we are not stopping. Now castle d4, d6, and next nd7, e5. So we are not stopping. Next move he will play nd7 and then e5. And Grunfeld player will play. This is called new Grunfeld. So you are not stopping kings in your Grunfeld. I will tell you, you send me mail the in PGN format, and in the class I cannot open the mailbox and download it. Okay, so please send me, but no blitz game, please. Every game must be half an hour each. Then only I will see. 30-minute game only, because blitz games there is no point in analyzing. Okay, maybe tomorrow I will change the topic for some time and go to a particular opening variation of Sicilian. So I have shown you a lot of. I'm in wrong file here. Yeah. So you can see that one cannot keep on making pawn moves like that. This is bad. No piece, all the pieces square. So it is a bad thing to only put pawns and not developing king in center. Okay. So in attack, the threat remains here, knight into pawn and then d5. So white must not allow such a small combination. He has to retreat. Now f4. Also possible here, also possible here to play queen b6. To meet bishop e3 with queen b7. This is also a possibility that you want to hit the center and watching the b5 point. So you place castle e5. White is better now. Now the pawn is controlled and pieces are coming faster. The idea of black, if you take knight into queen b6, check will pick up. So this is not a blunder. After the knight into knight, the defense is queen b6 and pick up. Now you may see the pawn is doubly attacked, but the point is here, knight into knight, queen here, he has this. Now if you take queen into, I will move, then you have a problem on the bishop. If you take it, I will I will move the king, then where the bishop is going? Now there is a problem and tempos are coming. So this is the defect of the variation. Mechanical, if you move, black has no problem. But this tempo, and there is an attack. Okay, what to do now? At the moment, white's attack, black's pressure is no more there. As long as rook is there, there is no more attack. So white plays queen. With the idea that at some point of time, if I can overprotect this point, then rook s3 will kill him. This is the point. Please note that tactically, if I can save this, it will be over. So he plays knight. This is bad. A player must be very careful. I tell you that the moment the rook comes, the game is over. But I cannot do it now because of the mate. So he carelessly plays. It is better that good or bad at the moment he should have played some f5. So that after f5, I think rook into pawn will not be. Oh, rook into pawn. Yeah, it is working. Maybe here, I don't know, the position already bad. But he played the bad move. How should now? White continue. I don't have much knowledge in opening. Can you help me with it? Yes. Basically, that was my main problem in my early career. In early career, till I moved to USA. I was there for 2 years for chess only in USA. Then I had a lot of opening problems. But you don't need to worry about the knowledge of opening. If you know a position is good or bad, if you know that weakness, if you know the plan to execute, so this is very important. Now, for example, I tell you, now at the moment, if the rook moves here, it is finished. By knight into pawn, then the game is over because the 1 and 2 are controlling this central point. That means I will come here. It's all over. And if you move queen, I exchange the bishop and rook s3 is finished. So the whole point is after the move, it is over only. Bishop d5. Now whether you take or not, if you take rook s3, an unstoppable attack is coming. Is made check and queen h8 knight. Anyway, the whole idea of this variation is bad. This variation knight is bad. And what I tell you, the correct move here, the variation is not nice the way black has played, but at least in the position he should have played now queen b6. No, queen b6 was better. This should have got play earlier only. Maybe in the earlier only. Here e6, b5, castle. Now only queen. No, f4 comes. Now only I think queen b6 is possible. And now b3, you have got counterplay on center, and your knight can come to c5 by d7. Okay, what is your Gmail? My Gmail is sekharsahu.chess@gmail.com. sekharsahu.chess@gmail.com. Analyzing Cortona game, I will send you. You can tell me how I analyze. Sure, I will see that. Sure, I will see. Accelerated dragon. Now it is better to play more actively. This is a more better move. But okay, this is also not bad. Now the player, he should have stopped bishop c4. At the moment, he should have stopped bishop c4, not playing b8. d5 moves should have been stopped. But okay, the game is equal now. The position is there is no attack. White has no only one queen is there. No second piece is coming. So the position is not so favorable for white. Black center is comparatively better. Now this is lot of waste of moves. Now you are coming there to get how many moves wasted? So these are just very weak moves without any plan, just playing, not controlling center, and making so many waste moves with queen. Just a bad position. Now, what should black do now? You have to be always vigilant about the weak points. You have to be now black to play. You must be vigilant about the weak points. Okay, I flip the board so you can have a better vision. What should black do now? There are tournaments. You have to go to Gujarat Association website. I do not know. Please go to the Gujarat Association website. You can see Ankit, knight e2. Dina Patel comes with the correct answer. Knight into it. Back rank. Now rook into pawn. And winning because back rank pawn and another pawn will fall. Very well. Congratulations, Dina. The back rank is weak. It's all over. Pawn down and bad position. Okay. Benko variation. This is well known as the Benko variation. To avoid heavily analyzed lines like Velimirovic attack. Now, for example, the main line goes to e6, and then the Velimirovic attack comes, then a6, then queen e2. Now, this is called the Velimirovic attack. The white starts castle and rook g1, g4, g5. So, this is so heavily analyzed. So, Benko started playing, popularizing this line, queen b6. Now, this is not working. Use queen takes pawn. Here, the queen takes pawn will come. And this fails to queen check. This is the problem. And knight check you will take, but the knight will not come out. Two pieces for rook is not good. So that is why you cannot play now be3. That means you have to play now knight b3. I think white stands little better, slightly. Okay, these are the things you have to be worried. All this I had showed you in the game. In the game, white was somebody and black was Irina Cruz, I think. Black was Irina Cruz. I showed this type of variation. And in that game, white had played g4, bishop e7. Now g4. This is what I had shown. I think he had castled, and now the standard pattern of attack came something like knight b4, etc. So in this game, he plays e1. A typical move, very well played by Elvest. Jan Elvest. This is a very well, good, excellent move. The idea now the queen and bishop putting pressure. So he's getting ready for the move. He's getting ready for the move. Now the other plan is to push the knight. You play g4, g5, I will play nd7. Now g4, I will play knight d7. Knight is coming to f8. So take it. Let the knight be decentralized. This is the main attacking piece, minor piece. So I want to eliminate this. Black has sufficient counterplay now. On the queen side, before white to start attack, position, there is no attack and lot of weaknesses on the queen side. The c2 pawn pressure. minus. Once the queen exchanged, then e4 weakness will be more dangerous. Winning. Now this off you have to take. Queen into queen will rook will be under attack. The center pawn will fall now. Now bishop is under attack. The center pawn will fall, and there too much pressure on the king. Okay, you could even this is also good compensation because I can maintain that point knight with pawn f5. So this you just collect the material back. Winning the game. Back rank is also not clear. It is bad. I will I will see that, but I will not go to the web. I will not go to the mail and open. It takes time to open, download again. So it will take. I will see it later. Okay. Sojin attack and Rouser attack mix because of the passive move ND7. Of course, other than that we have a line, but this is supposed to be good when you play ND7. Bishop C4 is a good line. I mean, all this happened in Spassky Korchnoi, last game World Championship 69. So now in such this kind of moves, you have to always alert because the knight d5 can come always. The queen is on castle and d5. You cannot exchange knight into bishop is there. So this kind of tactics you have to be watchful. I think the position is plus minus. Black has mishandled. Castle, as I told you, castle turns out badly because knight d5 tempo will come. This kind of tactics you have to be careful. And d5 queen into queen is blunder. Now queen has to go back and you will lose a one pawn. You lose material also. So you cannot castle. You have to play here. Already the queen is feeling the heat. The idea, the queen trap. If you castle, bishop b6 and rook d4 will trap the queen. b6, queen b4, rook d4 or a3. So the whole point is castle chance is lost. Now with this move, he has spoiled. The king is now will remain in the center. Bad. He is preparing for a move like nd5. You know, nd5 is one trying to open up the game. Already it is bad position. The second front, he opens the second front. You know, in a war, you know, now, for example, let us say India is having a war with one neighbor, Pakistan. Now, if the China opens another front, then you cannot handle both easily. You can concentrate on one front, but if there is a war on second front, then your army is divided. Your all tanks, all your everything is divided. So artillery. Now that whole point is that now center he has pressure. Suddenly white opens the second front. Black cannot defend this queen side and king side. And there is no attack. There is no attack by the king. I mean the king in center. There is no attack on the white king coming easily. Gone. If you exchange bishop takes d4, end of the attack. the king in center, and so many weaknesses. The end of the combination, now queen check will come. Now rook into rook and queen check is coming. Come. This is all over. Only move. Only move. Back rank. The whole point is any moment a back rank can be issued. So this is good. Now there is no back rank problem. So you can just take and win, because if you take, this is finished. The queen side pawns are too much. So many times we play a game that is giving us endgame superiority, and you open second front. This is also important thing in chess. I like Ivanchuk's that game. You know, let me finish this game, then I will take you to some other thing. I hope by now you understand threats and counter threats for both sides. I told you knight d5 is bad. This is bad. So he goes knight. Now white plays bishop d4. This is the standard move here. Here f4 is good. F4 is white better. Bishop f4 white better. He makes a different move. This is bad to bring the queen instead of trying to develop. He's bringing queen. This is bad. Queen f3 will come. Okay, that's all. Now bishop and bishop will only help white development. How is he going to develop? Now knight f6, rook e1 is plus minus, because now double attack, and now there are two threats will come. The queen into f6, and you castle you cannot do. So in the game he played knight h6, force rather, finishing the game in grand style. Now there is a rook check is coming. Where is the, first of all, where you are moving the rook? Where do you move the rook now? The queen check is picking up the knight also. So in the game he played d5. Okay, you can just take, and next move rook check is coming. So no bishop e6. Lost. So the whole idea of going after material, it turns out badly. A player should not open the position when you are underdeveloped, like d5. This is just bad. He should have played maybe here rook g8, but it is already bad position. Already the position is inferior. I mean, here you will have to take the piece, because if you give check run away, so you give a check queen e3 or queen h4. So here plays queen king f8 and takes. Now the position, it is marginally better. The material factor is equal. So white has got some initiative, but it is not so dangerous. Playable. Now rook e1 will come. Now d5. The game is playable. For example, now I should place the bishop somewhere. Where? I think I should place the bishop. This is c5, c4 can come sometime. So here, I think the position, it is interesting. Exchange down, but it is uncomfortably placed. So it is very interesting position. Unless white will attack, black will consolidate. So the whole idea that a player should know how to handle and open, like that Polugaski Kasparov game I have shown. Kasparov gave a pawn and castled. Similar situation. He took the e5 pawn and got into trouble. Maybe I will show that once again, because all the players have not seen that. Definitely, I will show that game. We'll come back. Yeah. Kasparov was only 14-year-old that time. Poloski and white is Kasparov. No? Somewhere here, 79, 78. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. You see, the feel. This is not an opening knowledge. It is just given on judgment. White is Gary Kasparov, a young boy, 13, 14-year-old. So black is going, but now the white will punish. Now he plays castle. So he offered a pawn. Now, are you going to accept the pawn or not? If black is not accepting the pawn, rook d8, I will simply play queen e2. And the pawn is a cramper. Makes difficult for black to develop. So, if you accept, I will have initiative. If you do not accept, I will have a positional advantage. So, he accepted. Okay, white has got a lead in development. White castle, king is castle already safe. White has all development. So, you have to create threats. Until and unless you take initiative, black will consolidate. He just needs 3, 4 moves. And after that, extra pawn. So before he could develop, white gives a threat. Where is the threat? The rook against the king. So this could be a target. Bishop. Now you weaken the position. I want a weakness. That's all. Then queen d4 will come. So I am giving a direct threat. This will turn out badly. This will turn out badly. I will play queen. Now you have to play like this. Then rook into pawn. So you have to play bishop. Now rook into pawn. That means I have recovered the pawn and now the game is opened up. You cannot castle easily. Now what to do? Welcome. You take, you will not be able to complete development. Now if you take it, now queen will come. And now you come here. Now knight cannot come, only move. Maybe here. Because bishop coming there, then queen d7. Can play knight coming e4 now, giving a threat. This is also possibility. Okay, this is also possible. So here in the game, he plays rook. Now, if you take the bishop, again the problem comes. Now the end game. If you take, suppose you take the queen. Now bishop into. Now if you play bishop into, I will have compensation. Now king into. There is compensation factor will come. For example, I have got rook, two pieces for a rook, but the position, it is material equal two pieces for a rook, but they have not developed yet. So before he could develop, I will start creating threats. So what I can do now, for example, let us say I play this move or maybe f3 with the idea to trap this so that my rook can come. Now you have to make a move like this. Now let us see. Let us see. I will play knight here. You cannot develop the knight. Now you cannot develop the knight. I want to take pressure. That means you have to move the bishop. So if you move the bishop, rook will come. Once again, there is threat is coming. So it is not easy to completely neutralize the pressure. So here in the game, he played queen and after that bishop f4. And now queen. Suddenly bishop c7 threat. If you take bishop c7, I will get the exchange and initiate. No problem about it. Bishop takes. Now here I have gained a move. Back rank has been cleared. Now initiative. Rook and now knight. That means I am going to get the pawn. And after that, so many weaknesses. You cannot develop the knight. The e7 is hanging. the idea to play bishop g5 fails because of pawn f4. And I will just retreat the rook. So here he plays, no, he plays in the game. Array, overwriting. This is okay, this position anyway. This is enough to show you that compensation factor in the opening itself when you grab a pawn. I will go to the next game. Polugaski Ivko. It can come from mark demand accelerated dragon. Now d6. e5 is a threat. So you have to play d6. Necessary. The plan of black is next move he wants to come here and nd5 will come. So before that you should move that. And also immediately knight coming to g4 and take the bishop. So you should avoid that plan. White stands better. Now the point is the c5 is a force move. You cannot go back. That is bad. And after queen exchange, now white stands. You have to exchange the knight. So c5 will be used by white only. This is weak move, but what can you recommend? Now the whole point is now any moment you can take bishop takes pawn and rook into rook and bishop takes pawn. So he wants to ensure that tactics is not there. But this is weak, I think. Maybe it is possible that he could have played h5. Black should have played h5 here. And now white has got sufficient space. Tempo. And now two bishops are there and the king is active. Now the pressure will come. That means white is playing with a practically an extra piece. And fantastic two bishops. I mean, the normal player will think it is a draw. But believe me, the position is extremely difficult for black. Why? Because black is having extra piece on the queen side. Exchange of rooks is very easy. So first he comes waiting, improve the position before rook exchange. A backward pawn, forced. Now the rook is tied down. That means you have to reposition. He wants to play h5 and then rook h1. Take and rook h1 entry. White is already ahead. He has opened the second front. Now there is an additional problem. What is the additional problem here? That in minor piece ending, this can be a problem. Suppose you remove rook and knight and the king, imagine coming here, the bishop can come sometimes. I will play pawn push pawn into and bishop can come and take. So these are the tricks you should be careful about. Waiting. Position is slowly it is deteriorating. Plus now white has got a sufficient plan and now this weakness will be always be giving problem. I mean, here he resigned or lost one time, but anyway it is lost. For example, if you play here king into, then bishop here, and the position is terrible. I mean, the king cannot come, rook check and mate. The king moves, rook check, and it will be checkmate. And now, if you take it with rook, if you take with the rook, also it is a bad position because bishop check will come, and now you are forced to come. You cannot come like you are forced to come. When the rook is misplaced, the bishop is watching, and his rook has no movement. And I will start advancing my pawn. I will start advancing my pawn. Take the king will come. Now king will come. The position is difficult. Not only that, white will also prepare a break at right time. So even though with little material, the position is quite difficult. Hello, Falak Joni Naik. Yeah, it was possible. Samdani and Samdani, brother and sister, welcome. So from tomorrow onwards, I will start the opening variations. I already made you familiar with the typical tactical possibilities, typical strategical problems. So in this position, even though queens were exchanged, black had a lot of problems last game. You do not mind to copy paste your Gmail in that chat. Okay, I will write down the Gmail. Sekhar Sahu uh, dot. This is my Gmail. Sekhar Sahu dot chess. Don't forget the dot. Okay. Okay. So here in this position, Grandmaster Sutin is black. Vladimir Simajin also a very strong grandmaster. So Marakji bind. This is not the most effective way to play Marakji bind. So it is better to play BE3. But this is avoiding lot of theoretical lines. Knight F4. Now the point is, if you play knight here, you can suppose in the position. If you play knight C3, black even can give this also. Now the bishop is bad and paralyzed. I mean, he will not allow this move. For example, pawn push will come, and this pawn is a fixer. So you have to be very careful. It is not easy that you can play just like that. So if, I will not play, but I am showing you possibility. I am showing you possibility. So D2. Now, an interesting move. Instead of playing normal moves, they play move D4. Suddenly the knight cannot come out. That means you have to go back or you have to play some F6 and knight F7. Plus. And it says otherwise you'll open the H file. So white is clearly better. Now I will overprotect because I want to make my queen free. Now here both bishop and knight are watching. So white stands clearly better. That means you cannot casually, supposing, let us say you are not playing G4. Let us say you are not playing G4 and you are making castle. Then you can play move like F5. The bind is broken. White has no more bind. I mean, same. This is what Boris Pasky did with Spurman. Boris Pasky may not be the exact same position, but similar. Knight on H6, pawn F5, and the bind was broken. You can check that. Okay. Hello, Sasta Nick 2. Hi, Knight board. So to avoid this line, this is a wonderful move. This is just bad. Plus minus. The position, black's position is completely compromised. So many weaknesses. D6, E6, the bishop on G7. Now I will tell you Weaknesses does not mean that white will win. You have to take, you have to attack, you have to take initiative. This is bad. Everything is pushed back and back. If you come this side, you will in a meeting net and bishop will not be having any effect. So this is, anyway it is bad. Khatam. The game is over. There is no way to run and the game is hopeless. So it is very bad position. Now a move like g4, for example, okay, maybe you can see Spassky Furman, how he did not do such a move, and the f5, and then the center was blown. I must show you. I hope it is there. Furman and black is Boris Vice Spassky. है कि नहीं रहेगा not this, not this, not this also. Probably this one. Probably this. This is the one. See, now white has come and now he played f5. This is the point. When you are not stopping, the bind is gone. So this whole point bishop into and knight into tempo. Now black has taken the initiative. Abhi, you now already there is pressure is coming. The center point. You lose time. First of all, you lose time. You lose time. Now the bishop is not doing any activity. Already black is looking for initiative. Master of open game, Boris Spassky. Plus, black development complete and there is no guard. The bishop is funny. So that is the reason when such a maneuver is coming, knight h6, preparing for f5, preparing for f5. That is why you have to be very careful. So a move like this, a move like the g5, suddenly completely keeps him choked. Okay, I go for the next one. Olafson versus Simajin. Simajin was very good in Sicilian and is famous for giving lot of rook into c3 sacrifices. So knight g4 temporary because d4. Now if you play knight into, I can also take knight into and take the queen. The knight will trap. Not this. This will turn out badly. I can first take it attacking the queen. So here he plays queen into and now this. This is the line. If you I had shown you, I showed you that this is bad. Morning only I showed you. After the move, white plays knight b5 and white is better. Knight b5 and castle and b2. Not grabbing knight into pawn into then queen a5 will come. So b2 it is white is better. So here he plays. This is the main line. There is also another line which is also possible queen a5. For example, if you play mechanically and I will play bishop into knight. Now queen into this endgame is not attractive. Now I will play b6. I will play d6, b6, anything, anything. This is also possible. Now bb7. So I will make it targets. So you need to be very careful about this kind of pawn structure. So here he plays d6, bishop d7. The idea is to ensure a square for the knight. So no b4 will come. And idea, another one, you want to play a4 and the queen will come a5. This is one plan. The idea is to make a, I mean, square secure for the knight on c5. So it is bishop and knight is bad. No b4 is coming. Rook against queen. Now there is a direct threat. So this is a safe way. Sorry, this is also possible, but this is e7 point. Bishop and knight is bad. You cannot win material. Black stands better. Now, actually, it looks bad for white. There is no attack. There is no piece can really harass black king. And now, black has a good position. If you open up, I will exchange and white will be in trouble. Okay, no problem. No problem. Now you come back, bishop into knight, and good knight and bad bishop theme. There is a typical theme. The knight is better than the bishop here. Bishop is doing nothing other than watching the e4 point. This is the only weakness. In the camp, Black has this weakness. There is no king side problem. And he can also come. He can also bring the king to g7 and defend the d6 weakness. Now, good night, bad is a typical thing. Bad. Okay. Not rook here, mate. Not the hasty rook move. Checkmate is coming. So comes counterplay. Black stands better now. Black rank is not clear. The knight is superior. You cannot move the rook. If you move the rook somewhere, then he will capture the d5. If you move the rook to e1, r d7 will come. Minus plus. Typical thirst I'm showing tall list. Check variation, which is bad. How should white play? Please think. This is an interesting position. What should white do now? The bots are asking me, give me food. So I will have to do something for them. So please calculate. I will write back. What should what should white do now? What did Tal play? So, what will you do now? Knight d5. Actually, who said knight d5? Knight d5, Ramakrishna, Paris Kumar. Ramakrishna says and d5. You know, no, I would not. You see, I will tell you, you have found knight d5. But don't you think first a4, provoke the move, or b4? Better to play. I want this knight d5. Before that, don't you think it is a good idea? Now, this is good. I want to force matter. You weaken the position and then end d5. So this is the what we learn from classical players, great players, that you find an idea, improve that idea. Weaken the structure first before playing ND5. Now there are three attacks. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You are forced to push or take. No ND5. Now this is just bad. You cannot take that knight anyway. You are welcome. Knight into, pawn into, queen into, b4. You win the pawn, bishop e4 will come. Takes. You cannot take that pawn, you lose a piece. The position is dangerous, very bad. Now if you play bd5, you take bishop here and then winning a piece. Not winning, it is a very bad position. This is just bad. Maybe here this is winning, bishop e7. Even this will also win. Even this is also winning. Bishop e7 and you come back. So you cannot accept that. That means here he plays this lost position. Lost completely. Now, if you play queen b4, queen d5, rook attack, and then smash. So you can destroy. The king has castled, black king uncastled, facing all problems. Rook attack, you go back queen c8. The only move queen c8. Now you cannot paralyze position. You cannot develop. There is a threat coming here. He can keep on improving. Bishop cannot come. Look into d7 threat. rd7 is a threat now. Finish. Mate threat. Over. Now queen into 8 is coming. So the whole idea, okay, okay. Feeling for initiative. I think tomorrow I will show this game later. This is a long game. Sutin versus Furman. I showed this maybe. No. Not good move. I already told that knight into pawn is not working here. So b5. Okay, I will tell you what happens knight takes pawn. Knight takes pawn is bad because after this knight into knight. So queen into, now knight b6. Now rook b8, rook b8, now queen d4. The bishop and the pawn. So you must go back. Otherwise, you allow me queen takes pawn. This is very bad position. So you have to go back. Now bishop f3. You have to defend. Now c4. The point is attack 3. 1, 2, 3. And knight cannot go back. 4 will come. So ultimately white will get the pawn back and white king is sitting pretty. And this is in target. The position rook will come now. Now rooks will come. Rooks will come now. This is dangerous. Or rook will come. So you cannot take the pawn. And four sequence of moves. Four sequence. And if you take this way also it is bad. This is also bad. I showed the game Grandmaster Barua, Dibendra Barua and Ganguly. Similar situation. So you cannot take that pawn. No, no, no. In the game bishop here, knight f4, he played e4, e5. Well played. Now if you capture, the knight is fantastic, and if you do not move capture, the king cannot castle. Now if you go back, I will retreat the knight, king cannot castle. So now the knight is completely dominating the bishop. Idea rook d1 and complete choking. The knight is dominating the bishop position. Where the bishop is coming, where the bishop will develop. Plus, okay. Now if you play NG4, I will take it. And then superior knight. Bad position. Now the no coordination of black pieces. Even this kind of advantage, even though the advantage is little, that black has no counterplay. White will keep grinding such positions. No rook d7. Now the knight is heading to the weaknesses. Into back rank is cleared already. One position. The end game, one pawn down. Knight ending is lost. It's like king pawn ending. If you play knight ending, it is like king pawn ending, pawn down. Lost. Okay. I will show one or two more games to finish the selected games I finished today. Now I will tell you this line is practically nowadays this has disappeared. One day I was checking the statistics in top players. The level now the score is something like 65% for black. Black scoring 65%, white scoring 35%. I mean this E5. This is just bad position. Now if you go back, I can play h6. Why? Because now the square is weak. He will come and hit the knight and then just take the square. So I must stop this. The score you can check from data, top level. This is just bad for white. No, if you want, I can show you a model game also. And if you retreat now here, e5, no, e5. If you play here, this is also plus for black. Maybe I will now play bishop here. Now you castle, I will play a5. You have to stop. You must stop here. Suppose you play bishop e3, I will play a4, and then you play, then I will play a3. And now this is just a bad position. Even if you play b3, which is maybe better, but even then queen is this is already plus for black. So you have to stop. You must stop by playing here a4 only move. But now in the position, white is better. After b7, now if you play f4, maybe I can play knight here. And now if you play, I will come back with the plan to play bishop c6 and d5. Let us say king h1, a safe move. I will play bishop c6. Idea d5. So any which way, in the game it happened, he played dragon. But I strongly recommend to play e5. Strongly recommend. This is very good for black. Okay, he comes here, g6. Now, Tata core variation. This is called Marokzi. You can play knight a5, trying to get some counterplay, or Tata core. This is good, active. Queen c8. No, this is, you must play, this is more active. This is more a Tata core idea. The idea is to vacate rook here and then d5. Suppose, let us say you play bishop here. I will still rook. Now you play something. Or whatever you do, now d5 will come. Now if you play here, knight will come. Black gets activity. And now if you take, so I think this is more active plan to play queen c8 and queen c8 with the idea rook d8 and d5. Okay, this is also okay, not a bad plan. This is also possible. Queen into. I already wrote. I already wrote. See, you can see I have written already here. Well, you can go back. I wrote my Gmail. Sekhar Sahu. You can check. I can see myself. Sekhar Sahu. Go back. You see sekharsahu.chess@gmail.com. So the threat is to open the center with d5. Now there is a threat. Now d5 is bad. Knight into d5 will come. So these are typical tactics. This is a blunder now because nd5 will come. Now queen into queen, knight check is coming. So you have to be careful about it. No, 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 no. No check is coming because king f8 is there. So here he plays and he comes queen back. Now I want to gain the piece back. The typical Sicilian counter attack. If you take my bishop, I will recollect the piece by playing d4. When you have got double pawn and bad pawns and the file. So this is a good move, d5. Now, typical Sicilian move. I want to keep the game open. I want the piece back. Pawn into. Now, this is very ugly. If he will play, the position is terrible for him. The square is a very good, bad pawns. So, this is just positionally it is terrible. The bishop is having pressure. So, you have to push the pawn now, only move c4. Queen f5. I am indirectly looking. These are the moves I am indirectly watching the pressure on this point. That means immediate threat I will play knight into. Now knight into queen d2 and rook in d5. So he comes rook d8. You can't give the bishop, only move. Now check. You know you have to play king f1. King h1 loses, rook into pawn wins because knight into you will have a queen. You will have a queen and deflect and winning the queen. So you have to play king f1. You cannot play. You have to play king f1 here. But then now the king is in a very bad situation. The knight is watching the pawn. That means the queen should come here and finish. So quickly comes queen. Check. Only move. Now switch. The only move. And now tempo. And the queen is switching to king side. Idea, knight has to mate. Rook attack, only move. Now knight into h2 threat, only move. Knight into h2 mate, only move. Only move, finish. You can see that pawn on the 6th rank, 7th rank, there are problems coming always. And these ideas are used in other Sicilian lines. That Botvinnik's plan, you see, this is very important. Now I will tell you this idea. Now what is the idea here? Now this is the move. Typical Sicilian move. Now you take, I will take counterplay. But if you do not do, suppose you make a normal retreat, it is a passive and bad position. Bad position. standard line. Basically, knight d7 is not the best way, but these are old games. You know, about 80 years, 90 years back, theory was not so. So this is old games. Not good move. This is bad. Now I want to give the exchange, but I will have sufficient pressure on the line c3, b2. Sufficient pressure. Okay. Now you see, already exchange down. Already. But he gives now bishop into. That means if you take queen into bishop into pawn check, that means you take pawn into, the king position is compromised. Now the queen is coming. The queen is coming to a3, it is all over. So you have to be very careful. Quick. Knight into c3. Only move. Finish. The game is over. Over. You cannot take that. After taking knight check and the queen will enter b4. The idea is queen coming. Lost. The position of white king is terrible now. Terrible. Now this is also there is a tempo on this piece. Winning the game. You play rook there. How are you going to stop this? How are you going to stop this? So he gives and now lost. Now the whole idea, this sort of moves. Okay, in the earlier line, I can show you here the regular line I'm talking. Here, queen d2. No, I think here c6, knight c6. Now queen d2. Now castle, castle. Now d5. This is one line you have to see also. So here he can play now knight into knight, pawn into, now pawn into pawn, knight into, now bishop d4. Want to exchange, black plus e5. Now bishop c5, he can play give this. He can give this and exchange sacrifice. Now taking it is very risky. Taking it is risky because now black has got rook b8 and rook into b2. The queen is having access. Even though it is extended down, black has got play because immediate threat is I am coming here. You better watch the threat. That means you have to either move the king or play some g4 to meet bishop h6 is coming. So g4. G4 I will play rb8. Threatening direct rook into pawn and queen b4 check. Now knight d4. Now yeah, I can play now. Maybe here I can play. Maybe here. Because if you play knight g5 coming, so I will play h6, preparing for f5. Black has active play, very active play here. Now if you play c4, now I will ignore. Maybe I will play queen coming here. Idea, you take, I will play pawn into and get my piece back. And this is all not working. The queen will come to a6 or queen c7. So the variation, you can give exchange sacrifice here like e5 and play bishop e6. This is possible. This is possible. Now, if you play bishop, it is bad. And if you play knight to knight coming there, I can play h6 preparing for f. I think one more game probably I'll show you before tomorrow. I'm going to go variations. One more game is it b76. What is the line? B76. So let us see. These are weak moves. This is weak variation. White has got a tremendous advantage in such positions. Backward pawn. Now there is a backward pawn and also attack. Black plan is to play f5, f4. So long before that he will get crushed. Now if you play, I am getting a square indirectly. The rook is securing the square indirectly. Finish. Now indirectly. If you take it, bishop f6 will finish. White to play and win. Show me somebody. It is like a puzzle now. The position white has got already open h5. It is finished. The only move. Idea mate. If you take it, the unstoppable mate is coming. Idea rook check mate. Idea rook check and rook h1 and h7 mate. The only move. Only move. Only move. Now f5. The position is anyway mate. So the whole variation is dubious line. ये line है. I will show Anand Messel game. I will show. ये जो है, whole point is knight into d4 and queen f5. This is bad. Whole line has stopped. आजकल यही खेलते हैं. Nowadays dragon players play only bishop d7 and then they go for Chinese dragon or go for regular main. तो फिर भी मैं आपको आनंद और मैसल का गेम दिखाएगा जो ये लाइन में हुआ था. अभी तक वही चल रहा है थ्योरी. जोनाथन मैसल. Now bishop c4. No, this is a different game. This is a different game. So b3. Queen f5 has come at a different stage. I thought the same line. It is not the same. What is black doing? I don't understand. Black is a grandmaster. Why? What? He's taking too slow. The idea to remove the bishop, then a5, a4, too slow. It is practically over. The idea to bring the rook and rook into c3, two moves. Now if you play bishop into, there is no mate. The king will escape. Now if you keep bishop takes knight, queen takes, there is no escape. I will take check and queen into check. I will not take directly. Maybe I will take a check and then a check. Lost. So you cannot take that bishop into. That means rook lana pade. Khatam. This is just bad. It's all over. He will get mated. Black will get mated before he comes rook and rook into c3. Now check. Mate. Of course, there was a defense. Of course, there was a defense possible. Bishop coming here and bishop. But When there is a gold, why go for tamba? Idea mate, forced. Now push. Idea pawn into pawn and mate. Only move. Then rook into will come. If you take it, the rook will come. Rook will idea rook into. Okay, friends. So I showed you last 2 days lot of Sicilian games. Sicilian Dragon, Classical, Nasdorf, Scheveningen, Pelican, Accelerated Dragon. So I showed the problems for black and white. Now I will take you to the regular theoretical systems. For example, now let us say I will start taking on Accelerated Dragon. So I will select good model games and show you what you should do to play Accelerated Dragon. E4, C5, Knight F3, Knight C6, D4, CD, and D4. This is Accelerated Dragon. Now white has two choices. He can play Marxibine, which is not dangerous, but it is good for white. Or he can play knight c3, bishop g7, and now be3, regular main line. Now bishop c4. So I will discuss tomorrow onwards every session one variation. Baraksi bind, accelerated dragon, two lines. Then I can go to Pelican, I can go to Kalisniko, I can go to that what is called Grivas line. How to handle one variation I will show. Then at the towards end I will go dragon and then last master because it is a much more bigger subject. So I will discuss those things. It may take longer than one session. So tomorrow onwards, I will start discussing theoretical lines, how to handle both side accelerated dragon or classical Sicilian, whatever. So see you morning at 9:30. तब तक सबको मेरा नमस्कार. Take care and bye. Rebak Chandak, he says, is it possible to play Ivan's Gambit? Yeah, it is possible. Ivan's Gambit is possible. It is good, no problem. It is fully playable. Now knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4 here. This is fully playable. Okay, don't worry. You can play this.